Welcome to ABL Hot Corner, brought to you by Viva. And tonight, it's our Christmas special. I'm Brook, Kilpatrick, and with me, as always, is Jamie Kloeden. And let's start by going through some of the series of last weekend, Kloeden. What do you got?
Well, straight off the bat, Canberra and Perth, Narrabundah.
And the Bunda Dome.
And the Cavs came home with a 3-1 series win, which more than anything, they've been travelling alright. It just reiterates how much Perth is struggling.
Hitting and more hitting from the Cavs. They just continue to pound the pill.
Yes.
And almost got through with the sweep, but Perth got a game. But they are struggling.
They are in all facets of the game too. Really, there's no real one thing that they've got to pick up on that they're hoping to have under the Christmas tree. But yeah, all around, and the Cavs, their bats are just absolutely dominating. It's just a continuous cycle of the hits for them every game.
Even DJ Davis joined the party on the weekend, who'd been really struggling the first few rounds.
Yeah, three-run home run.
Candlehouse, Jason Sloan, red hot,
usual suspects. Yep.
Usual suspects. On top of that, the Perkins boys, have we discussed pretty much every week.
Unbelievable.
Continue to rate.
Yeah.
Colin, Robbie just smashing the pill.
Just sitting atop the statistics across the league in a few categories actually. They're not just knocking a few little singles here and there. They're actually really contributing to that offense from down in their lineup.
Super impressive. And one thing that we haven't talked about with Canberra has been their defence, and they were very good on the weekend.
Mostly solid, sometimes spectacular. Yeah, making a few really good plays.
So what about as far as Perth goes? We had a Bajarski bomb, which was nice to see.
Yeah, big Ulrich still hanging around the place.
Connor Lurie, the young fella from Perth, who was really good in the under-23 World Champs, had a good outing.
Yep.
So there's something positive for them. Luke Hughes obviously had a really good season so far.
He's just been flying, hasn't he?
But,
and the Kennelly brothers, they're still getting it done. But they're, aside from Luke Hughes, who's obviously just starring at the moment, there's nobody at that real next level that's seems like it's going to dig them out of that hole that they're in. They've really got to just go to that next level at some stage soon, otherwise it's going to be too late.
Some of their quality too is struggling. Joey Wong, who big game player, has really struggled to get out of the gates this year.
Yeah, they would have been really counting on him firing. It's really setting the table for him in the lead-off spot, because having seen it firsthand before, I mean, we know he's put up good numbers in a range of leagues in the States, but he's done it here in the ABL. He's awesome for him the first time round on both sides of the diamond, on D and with offense, but he's just just struggled for the first half.
And for the Cavs, they've got Steve Fitty Kent at the back of the pen now, and he's been shutting them down pretty well. Had a bit of a rough outing once on the weekend, but all in all, the back of their bullpen has looked alright.
Yeah, and again, they only have to be alright the way the bats are swinging.
Yep.
As long as
that's exactly right.
As long as the starters give up some good outings, the bullpen's able to hold some leads. They're going to win a lot of games. They're going to pound
teams into submission with their bats.
Unbelievable.
All right, what about the Aces versus the Blue Sox? Not too much to report other than Aces.
Your man, the hamburger.
The hamburger, more like the hamburglar, because he keeps stealing wins at the moment, mate. He's on fire. Had a really good contest against Trevor Foss.
Yeah.
The Foss from Sydney, who's been pretty good.
Real pitcher's duel, that one, wasn't it? Game one.
Yeah, went to extras. I think a sack fly from Tyler Collins finished it off, and the Aces got over the line. But all their pitching, Honda humming. He's done it again.
He's running very smoothly at the moment.
Running very smoothly on all cylinders, and the big douche.
Yeah, it's been a good story for him. Been basically just playing club ball the last couple of years.
Yep.
And suddenly finds himself in a new team, not just returning to the bite where he's played all his baseball of recent years. Whole new team, whole new city, and is in vintage form. Yeah,
7 scoreless on the weekend, and they are just lights out. They can't be stopped. 15-5 at the moment, and running away with the league at the halfway point.
Oh, they are. They're flying, and I mean, we talk about doing things on each side of the diamond, on defence, on offence, pitching. They are doing it all. I mean, they go ahead and the Blue Sox are a good team. They've swept them.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
On the hitting side of the fence, Sakuna has been just pick of the bunch every week. He hasn't had a down series. He's been just consistently very good.
I mean, if the MVP was picked today, he'd be right in the mix.
Right in the mix.
He's having a great start to the year.
D-San, another Johnson.
Yes.
2 Johnsons on the weekend, I think. So he's red hot.
Mike Walker's another one that's swinging the bat.
Mike Walker, Liam Bedford.
Yeah.
Like they've added the offense to a team that is thriving on pitching, and they are really hard to stop right now.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we've talked about their struggles in the past in away games. They've seemed to have put that to bed this year.
Good teams change the game, don't they? Like, it doesn't matter where you play.
And now they go home and they sweep a series against a good team. They look like the team to beat right now.
Absolutely. All right, finally, Adelaide Bite and the Brisbane Bandits right behind us on the weekend. Pretty interesting series, which saw a little bit more offense in this ballpark than we've been used to in its early days.
It has. It's the location of the park. The wind generally will blow straight across, which out over from right field across the diamond's left. So it's not the greatest for your power hitters. But now there was certainly some extra base action here on the weekend.
Yeah, Lutzy's back, hit a bomb, and what a massive add for those guys.
He hit homers in any conditions. That bloke, he's just got some serious
Absolutely.
power.
Mitch Nielsen stayed red hot with the bat, been really impressive this year.
Yeah.
Wade Dutton.
Yeah.
Back for the Bandits. Came out of nowhere, didn't see that one coming.
That's it.
Return of the Wade. So they seem to be adding bats, but their pitching hasn't really been up to scratch.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the bullpen every single week. They're still getting the job done. But yeah, the starting rotation certainly isn't as rock solid as it was last year.
Yeah, Teasley,
one of their real strengths last year.
Teasley, who was very good last year, has struggled a little bit, as we mentioned last week. About for the Bite, they split 2-2, so it wasn't all bad for the Bite. They won the last game, which they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, well, two of the imports, Marcus Green and Ladarius Clark.
Really good.
They've been great. Yep. They're doing really well at the moment. And another young bloke to mention too, a local product here in Adelaide, Jordan McArdle.
A couple of knocks. Yeah, like the kids just keep coming, don't they?
Yeah, young bloke but a big bloke.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he can swing the bat, that's very handy having him on board. And cause he can play a couple of different positions too, but he can catch a bit too.
Pretty versatile.
That's at club level, obviously, whether he can take that to the ABL level. But if he can, it certainly opens up some options for Steve Mintz as well.
Now for the Bandits, I'm trying to work out, they've got more catches than the Victor Factory, mate. They've got catches everywhere. Ryan Battaglia, obviously Jake Toccato on the weekend on the roster, and Jay Myers, and they had 3 others not even on the roster. So they've got 6 catches to choose from.
Sorry, I've lost you on this. I think Scott Bonner. Matt Sports, there's a few other factories you could have mentioned too.
Pretty good catcher on the back of the mower, yeah.
Sorry, what did you say after that?
Doesn't matter, it's not important. But
no worries.
Basically, they've got a lot of catches, and Ryan Battaglia, who's been very good for those guys in the past.
Yes, yep.
Starting to come into his own a little bit, give some more at bats. Might help him over the line. On the pitching side of things for them, Dan Nielsen, who obviously exited late last year, had a fantastic outing. Didn't give up a hit and 5 digs in the weekend. So.
He has been one of the stronger parts of their rotation. He's had a couple half decent outings. So like we say, Teasley and co that aren't doing what they did last year. Maybe Nielsen can pick it up. And the second half, they can steady the ship a little bit in that regard.
I think for them to take the next step, it's all about starting pitching, isn't it? Because Erasmus has been okay. He's done a pretty good job.
Yep.
Teasley down, Nielsen pretty good. Just need to sort of get some consistency because the bats are certainly there.
They'll score runs. Very much similar to Canberra. The offense is going to be there. It's just a matter of what they can do with the pitching and the defence.
Beautiful work. All right, we'll be back in just a short time, and we'll be talking about our stories of the round. Kloeden, our stories of the round. What caught your eye over the weekend?
I would say the big one is the fact that we've had our first female umpire in the ABL.
We did.
In its current form.
We did. Unbelievable, yes. First chick on the diamond, umpiring. Fiona Lambrick took the field. It was Melbourne Aces versus Canberra Cavalry at Melbourne Ballpark. So massive tip of the hat to Fiona for being the first female to...
Fair effort too. We're in December 2016, and in this form of the league,
89.
Prior to that, back 89 exactly, is when it all started, and she's number one.
Yeah, it's sensational.
Numero uno, so that's great to see.
Breaking the lines. I'm sure she won't be the last. So tip of the hat to Fiona for umpiring as a female in the ABL.
For sure. And what about you, mate? What's the story on your side?
For me, it's still all about aces. It's the aces. It's the aces. It's the aces. 15 and 5. They're going to be around when it's all said and done.
With their big addition still on his way.
Look at their team. They're a very strong team. Jeremy Guthrie's coming. Wow.
Just already leading, crushing everyone in the league and bringing in a big leaguer to top it off.
Yeah, it's sensational. It's been a long time for those guys, so great for the fans.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're loving it, and we'll see who's going to join them, because it's a bit of a fight on for that second and third spot.
It is. Yeah, we've spoken about Brisbane, about Canberra, all these guys. They've got the framework there to be a really contending team. They've just got a few little pieces that have got to fall their way. So at this stage, it looks like Melbourne, and then we'll see who rises to the top in the probably in the first couple of rounds after the break.
Speaking of where they're all sitting on the table, there is another story obviously that's come out of that the table, and that's the Perth Heat looking pretty sick down there on the table.
Which is not Perth Heat like.
It's very unheat-like.
Unheat-like. They're the perennial contenders when you look at the first few years, and they're winning. They're in the playoffs. They're everywhere. This year they're in trouble of missing out on everything.
Particularly with the shortened season this year, 40 games.
Yep.
And halfway mark, they've got a long way to come back from. They're going to have to get busy very, very quickly.
No, I'm not convinced they can do it. I think they might have run their race already, to be honest.
They need to get busier than Sir Mix-a-Lot at a birdie factory.
Yeah, and that's busy.
That's busy. All right, finally, what about the All-Star Game rosters have come out? The All-Star Game this week, and we'll be back after the break to chat about those All-Star Game rosters, Kloeden.
We will.
Nice.
Take it from me, one punch can be lethal. Thrown in anger like this, without warning, without any gloves, it can be deadly. One punch can end his life and ruin yours. It takes grunt to throw it, it takes guts to walk away.
Welcome back to ABL Hot Corner, brought to you by Aviva. Clothes. The All-Star Game rosters are out.
Coming up, yep.
We have them in our hot little hand. A couple of players to talk about. I want to start by saying assistant coach for the World All-Stars, Dean Marnell, ex-Melbourne Monarchs. Well played, Dino, got on board. Playing staff-wise, it's a pretty strong lineup for the World All-Stars. You've got my man, the Hamburger, of course, leading the pitching staff.
Who you would imagine possibly being live at the start after the year he's had so far.
Could go Hamburger Honda. Could go straight with the Melbourne Aces.
Would make sense.
Plenty of quality. Virgil Vasquez on the roster, also as pitching coach,
Yep.
so he can put himself in when he wants. Basically, Virgil. Virgil, you're in. Okay, Virgil.
Done.
Get in there. Too easy. Kramer Champlin from the Bandits got a gig. He's been pretty good of late.
Yep.
A lot of quality. On the hitting side of things, Adelaide Bite, Marcus Green, who's been red hot, obviously. Roman Collins, sensational for the Aces. Ronald Kloeden, who we spoke about at length,
Killing it.
as being red hot. Max McNabb, also another good pitcher for the Adelaide Bite.
And as you mentioned, Jeremy Guthrie, who has yet to throw a pitch.
Guthrie, walk on start for
obviously earned his position on the roster ahead of all the other guys.
Guthrie, yeah, just on reputation alone.
I think so.
Let's hope he can back it up.
If you're a big leaguer that's pitching the World Series, just have a crack. Just,
Pretty sure
just go and do
right.
what you do.
Pretty sure he'll be fine. But another couple of names. Joey Wong, interesting name to be on there, given his struggles so far. But
we know what he's capable of.
Quality player.
Yeah.
And another guy who's caught my eye this year for the Bandits, Kevin Padlow at third base,
Yes.
has been a very solid hitter.
And hitting in a run scoring position to run producing.
A run scoring position.
Yes, no, good on him for scoring some runs, but he might produce some as well.
Absolutely. And Stone Garrett, who sounds like some sort of really good wine to me.
Or a wrestler, perhaps.
Possibly a wrestler as well. All right, flicking over to the Aussies, mate.
Yeah, got Team Australia here. Got a bit of a mix here
Of
with
course, by John Deeble.
yes, John Deeble, Tony Harris, of course, the two veteran coaches at the helm.
Feathers up there.
Yeah. A couple of young blokes too, Phil Dale and Graham Lloyd on the coaching staff.
Oh, Lloyd, he's probably still Pifford, all right, I reckon. Get him up
Tell
there.
you what. No, the actual roster itself got a fair mix of some national team veterans. Obviously, you're looking at Craig Anderson, D-San, Mitch Denning, Erasmus, Brett Harmon, Luke Hughes. All of these guys, just quality names.
Veterans, yeah.
Played Olympics, World Championships, the whole lot. One interesting name is Dushan Ruzic,
Yeah.
who has obviously started with the Australian team previously, but as we spoke before, had a couple of years of playing club ball, and suddenly bang, he's
And all of a sudden he's
back
getting
in.
it done. Yeah, it's great to see. And also you've got a really nice mix there of a lot of kids that have done well in the under 23s.
yeah. Well, Aaron Whitefield's one of them for sure. He's picked up the silver medal there, and has been having a really good. I think we've mentioned him a few times already this year, batting lead off for the Bandits and stealing a few bags and knocking the ball around. So been very impressive. Yeah, pitching wise. We've got, I think I mentioned Erasmus, but we've also got Stephen Kent, those we mentioned in the bullpen. We've got Matt Williams in the bullpen. We've got Josh Tolles, who's been working out of the bullpen. We've got Ryan Searle in the bullpen. So we've got all of these guys
Pretty
that
good
are
at the back end.
probably, once you get to innings 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's just going to be the relievers from every team coming in with some pretty filthy stuff.
And a guy I really like that I've seen a bit of this year for the Perth Heat, Tom Bailey.
Yes,
really
strikeout machine.
impressive. Yeah, been real impressive. So, no, it's going to be a bit of a cracker, I reckon.
Yeah, going to be broadcast on ESPN, I believe. So should be some pretty good viewing actually. The cream of the talent in the ABL, which is a pretty strong competition right now. Some very entertaining baseball going on.
And I'm guessing there might be a few bums on seats given it to Melbourne Ballpark, the league-leading Melbourne Aces home.
Well, it's the time to be in Melbourne and support baseball right
Couldn't
now.
get
Isn't
enough
it?
of it at the moment, the Aces fans. So get your butts down there to the ballpark for the All-Star game. Cheer on your favourite players, see if you can score a few autographs, see if you can just push Clatsy out of the way. He's probably in there trying to get all the gear fees down there. Matty Merrington's probably got the game use bets on tap. But yeah, get down there and enjoy it.
Come out with as many hamburger chances as you can come up with.
Got to get with the hamburger. Of course, we've got Hamburger on one side. We've got Josh Tolles, who pitches for the Kansas City T-Bones. So it should be a pretty good cook-up, T-Bones and hamburgers.
Butcher's dream.
Butcher's dream, there it is. All right, we'll be back in a moment to talk about some stats.
That's more
League
stats.
leaders.
It's not like I'm off my face.
I've only had a few champagnes.
I'll be alright. There's only one cop in town.
I'll just take the back streets.
I need the car in the morning.
All right, Clothes. Sitting here, kicking back on the lounge.
Holiday season.
Holiday season. Let's talk some stats.
Stats.
And let's talk pitching stats.
Yep.
Who do you like?
Well,
The hamburger.
there is a standout, isn't there?
So, Mark Hamburger, 45 strikeouts, 34.2 innings, conceded just 23 hits, and currently ERA of 1.82 and a 3-0 record. Just sensational.
And I'll tell you what, he's the one getting all the press, rightfully so, with those numbers. But just run us through the stats for his teammate Keisuke Honda.
Old mate Keisuke Honda, he's humming. 4-0, 1.21 ERA, and in 29.2 digs, the Honda is purring 27 strikeouts and just 10 base on balls.
So between the two of them, we're 7-0.
Correct.
With a 1.8 and a 1.2 ERA.
No wonder the Aces are flying.
That is why they are flying. Yes, they've got all their offensive guys who we'll get to in a minute. But when you've got two guys anchoring the rotation with those sort of numbers,
super impressive.
You've got playoffs coming. Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely. What else? We've got a few other blokes that are pretty much starring as well.
Well, while we're sitting here at the friendly confines of West Beach, Matty Williams, who sees them out here regularly, his numbers have been surprisingly, not surprisingly awesome, very quietly awesome. He's been going about his business without too much fanfare. But just having a look at his numbers there, he's got ERA of 2.5. He struck out 28 in 18 innings. He's been basically dominant coming out of the pen.
28 strikeouts, couple of walks.
And a home run that he did give up was very unlucky. Probably, you could argue whether it was misplayed by the outfielder or it was just it didn't actually go out on the full as a home run normally does, but just little bits and pieces of luck. He hasn't had all the luck going his way, but he's beaten some bats though.
I think Matty Williams too. He's the go-to guy in those high leverage situations.
Yep.
When they need an out, the other team's threatening, got some runners on, need an out. Matty Williams comes in. He's your man. High leverage guy.
And you know what? And he's always there too as a emergency starter if need be, and can just do anything.
There's nothing Matty Williams can't do.
Nothing.
I'd agree with that.
And
who else you got?
Tom Bailey. We mentioned him a few times. He's got some good numbers.
Good
and
strikeout guy for Perth.
And we've also mentioned him already, but the young bloke from Perth, Connor Lurie.
Yeah, he's been quietly impressive. Big kid.
Yep.
But his numbers too, like 22 strikeouts. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, 22
strikeouts. Just 14 innings.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, has walked a few. I think he's walked 12 as well. But it does show, as I said before, it shows
potential.
He can miss bats.
Yep, absolutely.
So the refining little bits and pieces, like finding the zone and stuff, is something he'll work on, obviously. But if he's got that power potential to really beat some quality hitters like he is, there's a lot of upside there, and hopefully he can, for Perth's sake, carry him a bit further forward.
Yep, so they're our pick of the pitchers. Now, what about some hitters?
Some hitters. Well, I'm going straight back to the aces again.
How can you not?
Have a look at these three now. Mike Walker, Ronald Acuna, and Roman Collins. The three of them combined, all batting over 300.
I know.
On base percentages all up over 400. They're doing it.
And not only that, but Acuna with the wheels as well.
Yeah.
13 steals already.
Yeah, with a couple home runs as well. So he's just doing a bit of everything. And as I said before, he'd be in the mix for the MVP if we were doing it right now for the first half.
Pretty impressive.
But when you throw Mike Walker, who will be playing for Team Australia in the All-Star game, again, it's another reason why Melbourne are top of the pops.
Dead set. Canberra also, we mentioned red hot with the bats. Cole Perkins, 5 home runs. And he's offsider. Mike Reeves, Keanu's brother. He also has 5 home runs. Pretty impressive.
Yes. And one other name too is, we've mentioned him already, but Luke Hughes is just, he was a little bit off last year, I think.
Had a pretty, by his own standards, pretty disappointing season last season, but he's been red hot.
He has, and he's
consistently good.
And had he not been around, it would be definitely done and dusted for Perth by now.
Pretty scary thought, no Lukey in that lineup.
Yeah, that's right.
He's picked him up in the games they've won. He's pretty much picked him up. More often than not. Keneally boys obviously quality hitters, but Luke's been outstanding.
He's carrying the load so far. So no, I think they're definitely the offensive standout so far.
Mitchie Nielsen, we mentioned before.
Oh, yep.
Doing a good job. Pretty much anyone else from Canberra.
And of course we mentioned Clark and Green, the Bite boys too. So
the Bite boys, they've done it right too.
Yep.
All right, that's our stats wrap for now, and we're going to wrap this up shortly with our tweets of the week. Okay, Clody von Clodingham.
Tweets
of the week. Merry Christmas. So, tweets of the week. First one from Cut 4, who is a big player in Major League Baseball. It's kind of all the really cool, off the wall,
a little bit off centre things.
Bit
that
off centre stuff.
MLB.com, yeah.
So the boys from the Canberra Cavalry made it on the Cut 4 this week with the Canberra Cavalry of the ABL celebrated the holidays with Christmas jerseys.
Oh, that's nice.
And they did. They had Christmas jerseys. So the Canberra boys, well played. You got yourself on Cut 4 and no doubt a bunch of new followers.
You'd hope so, and that's the sort of stuff we need too to get the ABL out there with people that are in America or in Canada or in wherever that don't even know we exist.
Out of Mongolia, perhaps.
I've heard there's a little bit of a
following out there for the Cavs. So well played. Now this one also sticking with the Cavs theme. This is from Tango Media, and it's got love
Tango.
this. Old Tango, not Cash, just Tango.
Cash not there anymore.
Cash not there anymore. Love this. David Carnelas of the Canberra Cavalry enjoying one of the colouring pages that we created for the team. So the Candyman, not just knocking out doubles, triples,
he's an artist.
Johnsons. He's getting that colour between the lines, which is always impressive.
Getting the Derwents out.
Yeah, getting the Derwents out.
They still make Derwents?
I don't know, Columbia's maybe. They're the cheap version of the Derwents. I never could have the Derwents, mate. Not in my household. We were poor in my day, mate. But the Candyman, well
cheap
done.
in your pockets to keep your hands warm.
Now, finally, we got one from Emily Walden. So, big shout out to Emily. She is a minor league rider for the Detroit Tigers. So, has a very big interest in the ABL, obviously. With you've got your obviously Wazza, and you've got your kids, Jack O'Loughlin and Richard Pajarski, who she's following quite heavily. And we have a bit of a convo every now and again. So, shout out to Emily. And she has said, being told that the Tigers' Warwick Salpold has begun throwing in practice for the ABL. He expects to return to play with Perth after Christmas.
And boy, would they be looking forward to that.
That's not, couldn't come quick enough. Old Wazza into the bullpen or even having a start, that's for sure.
Just doing anything.
Yeah, maybe swinging a stick, the big fella.
Might slot into the 4 or 5 hole.
He's got some mad skills. So, we look forward to seeing Wazza back for the Heat.
Yes.
And we look forward to the Heat putting on a bit of a display and getting back into the standings, back into the race for the championship before it's all said and done. They need to work fairly quickly.
And good on you, Emily, for getting a bit of press for the ABL.
Well played, Emily. Loving your work as always. That pretty much wraps it up for this episode of ABL Hot Corner. Before we go, get onto the Viva Sports site, buy yourself some gear, represent your team, get out to the All-Star game this weekend at Melbourne Ballpark. Enjoy yourself. Get a burger, get a hamburger, possibly. Get amongst it. Have a couple of a nice Christmas, a bit of Christmas cheer.
That's it.
Everyone have a safe and enjoyable Christmas. So until next time, after the break, this is Brook, Kilpatrick, and
Jamie, Jang, and Kloeden
signing off from ABL Hot Corner. We'll see you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Merry New Year.